And Brian Toohey, in the meantime, the economy is everywhere in the papers. Another dramatic event in the United States with the US's AAA rating downgraded.
Well, that's one rating agency, Standard & Poor's, has done that. It's put it down a notch from AAA down to AA+. Just why anyone would take any notice of a ratings agency, I don't know. This is the same rating agency.
That's the question, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean, it gave AAA ratings to those mortgage-backed securities, which involve lending to people, home loans to people with no income, no jobs, no assets and no prospect of getting any of those things. But nonetheless, I mean, it's not very surprising. This would have happened quite some time ago if the US wasn't protected by its very, very privileged position of being the reserve currency for the world. And the markets are split over what it means. Some say, look, this impact has already been factored in. On the other hand, at least it should make it dearer for the US to borrow more money.
So which development do you think will have a bigger impact when the stock market's open on Monday? Will it be this or the better than expected jobs figures?
Oh, I think the better than expected job figures, which are only by a tiny amount, will have been forgotten by then. No one knows. I should step back. No one knows what the markets are going to do. It's a constant tussle between greed and fear. Greed was getting its head well in front a couple of weeks ago. Now fear is back in vogue. So, who knows where it's going to go.
Fear never goes out of fashion. What amazed me was, how about that weird tussle that happened between Standard & Poor's and the President's office? There was this weird standoff for about 12 hours where senior officials in his office were questioning the paperwork that Standard & Poor's had done, that the figures were out of whack. So you've got this bizarre suspension of reality where a President's office is haggling effectively with this ratings agency.
Peter Costello or Wayne Swan ever get that opportunity to have that sort of last-minute negotiation?
Under an Abbott Prime Ministership, you could see that happening, couldn't you?
Well, you could actually. That's precisely right.
The difficulty is to satisfy the rating agencies who want much lower debt. Then you have to have very, very big cuts soon to government spending and possibly revenue increases, which most analysts would say that'll drive the United States into recession. So you could keep your AAA rating but end up with a deep recession.
Well, they wanted $4 trillion worth of cuts, which is coincidentally the same amount that's been wiped off the global share market in the last week.
Yes. And the G7 finance ministers are having an emergency telephone hookup to talk about the turmoil in the financial markets. Now, Silvio Berlusconi tried to reassure Italians that he feels the pain, and he was able to express it in a way that I don't think Julia Gillard ever could. Here he is.